Looks like a company with the banner and the shirt.
You already hit play, or?
Yeah. Live. I mean, we got the 5 minutes intermission, but there we go.
Chapter 5?
Oh, chapter 1. Hopefully it works good. It kind of stopped for a little bit. Slow connection.
There you go.
The one in I think not Galvin Newsom. Who's that Florida governor? I forgot his name. He is pushing. If you get divorced in less than 3 years, that you don't get anything, and then 2, if you get divorced, you only get the equivalent of the years that you were with them. So if you're with them 8 years, you don't get alimony until you die. You get alimony for 8 years. And so then a lot of women were fighting him, saying, "Oh, I'm not going to vote for you," and whatnot. If we're only married for 8 years, then okay, get alimony for 8 years. I don't really knock alimony, because if we do it biblically, the wife stays at home, so she couldn't build her career. So if you're married 15 years, and then she's coming at 35 into the workforce with 0 on her resume, 0 experience, 0 anything. It's like, come on now, I stayed home raising your kid, you cheated on me, and then now I go into the world with absolutely nothing? No, dude, that's what alimony is for. I get it. But that's not what women are using it for. They're cheating on you and still getting alimony. And then it's till you die. So I have to pay for you till you die? We were only married 5 years, and I got to pay for you till you die? How does that work?
You don't want to stand in half with the weight.
Oh, it's what do you mean?
With the
Oh,
weight.
like turn the tripod over? Move it this way. No. Is that's better? Still kind of not sitting, but. What you think about it, Izzy? You think if you're married 8 years, if she cheats on you, she should still get alimony?
I thought she's on you, she don't get out.
That's what they're trying to pass. But now, now no fault divorce, she could cheat on you, get a divorce, and still get alimony. But they're trying to take that away now. California and like New York are like the worst places. I think there's a couple of states where it's allowed. It's called the passion or something. If you catch them in the act and you kill them both, then you don't go to prison because you were just caught in the act. You just came in, you seen your wife sleeping with another dude on your bed in your house and whatnot, and you killed them both. Then it's like called a murder of passion or something. So there's a couple of states still have that, but you got to catch them in the act, which is biblical. The whole thing, what divorce is, the reason for adultery is that if you've seen that your wife was cheating on you, you can't just stone her. You have to stone both people. So if you're I went out to war and I come back and you're pregnant, obviously you committed adultery. Here's your bill of divorcement. And where's the dude? I can't kill both of you. Where's the guy at? So that's why when they tried to stone, they were going to stone the woman. She was caught in adultery in the act, and he just drew on the ground like he didn't hear him. And so he did it without sin, cast the first stone, because they were trying to use the law unrighteously. They were only trying to stone the woman, but you weren't trying to stone the dude. If you caught him in the act, then why didn't you bring the dude with her? Then you could stone him. So, oh, there we go. Praise the Almighty. Let's do it. Cool, it's time. You guys ready? Got your Bible? Welcome to True Hebrews United. Almighty Yeshua. You should be loved, holiness, instructor, discipleship, drill sergeant. About to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor. The creator of all things, of heaven and earth, and all that is in there, and the one that gave me my heartbeat, and the one that allowed me to have feet to run and walk and whatnot, life, my children, house, food in my stomach, everything. Definitely give all honor to Yah through his son Yeshua Mashiach. Definitely double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons. That helped out, that light, by the way. Across the whole planet, trying to get this gospel out. It's getting tight. More and more stuff, it seems like every other week, they are making moves. The wicked one is not slowing down and trying to have full control over this planet. So, to the ministers out there trying to get this truth, get people to repent before it's everlasting too late. All the brothers and sisters across the whole planet keeping the Almighty's commandments, statute, judgment, precepts, and ways. All the people on the Facebook and YouTube that share, like, and subscribe, and an emoji and comment. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I want you guys to be saved. Something else I was going to say, but I forgot. But praise the Almighty for that. Something I was going to say along with that. But nonetheless, so how you guys doing? Praise the Almighty. And you guys doing all right? Doing all right? Everyone doing all right? All right, that's good stuff. Cool. So, did I leave something up? Oh, that's what I want to say. Hey, people on YouTube, please, people on Facebook, please go to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube. Let's get that YouTube going, get that algorithm going. I did lack for the last couple of years, but we're going to try to push that back. If you want to help out the congregation and you're not a member, go to the YouTube channel, thumbs up a couple of videos or comment on a couple of videos. Let a couple of videos play while you're washing dishes, while you're driving to work or whatnot. Let's get that view count up, and I appreciate you guys. So, with all that said being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and
Scriptures do the talking.
There we go. James chapter 1, and we're going to start at verse 12. James chapter 1, verse 12. And it's cool. I'm going to give you, all you guys are going to get a chance to talk because I'm going to ask you guys a question. You guys don't got to come to the front. I'll ask you guys a question. James chapter 1, verse 12. Let's get it. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive a crown of life, which the Almighty hath promised to them that loved him. So we got to endure temptation. And there's different types. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Almighty. For the Almighty cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man, when he is tempted, he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. And when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And when sin is finished, it bringeth forth death. So, one, we can't say that the Almighty put this guy in front of me to ask me to smoke a blunt so I could sin or whatnot. No, Almighty doesn't tempt you. He gives you the commandments and you make a choice. Temptation comes from yourself or from outside forces. We're not really going to deal with the inside, internal right now. I'm going to deal with external. But just to scrape the surface is, let's say in your own mind, you're like, man, that girl looks good. Or man, if I just break the Sabbath, I can make a little extra money. That is an internal temptation. You are tempted by your own desire and you give into your own desire. And it says, once you conceive it, it bringeth forth sin. And once sin is finished, it bringeth forth death. No one just fell into adultery by accident. They took the time, they were kind of flirting or having a conversation or got a number or trying to sneak and hide and this and that. And they sneak outside their marriage. No one just, I think I'm going to, I fell down on some naked woman. That doesn't happen. You conceived it and it bringeth forth sin. And once the sin is finished, it bringeth forth death. There is some impulse sins that we're all are guilty of, where something happened so quick and stuff was going on so fast, and we're going to get into that in a little bit, that you might sin against the Almighty, and that wasn't really conceived, or it was, but it was in such a short time span that you didn't really think that through. Like adultery, that is a well thought out situation. You don't accidentally fall into that. You thought that thing through. So, let's deal with some external. Matthew chapter 4. Verse 1. Then was Yeshua led up in the spirit in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. Now we've seen that it says the Almighty doesn't tempt you. but it didn't say the devil doesn't tempt you. And be careful not to be a false accuser, because a lot of times, I've seen more times than not, people blame stuff on the devil when it has nothing to do with the devil. It would be a shame that you go to the lake of fire because you lying on the devil. So be careful with, oh, the devil trying to bring this, and the devil trying to bring that, and the devil trying to do this. Be careful with that stuff. Yes, it says he is an accuser of the brethren. He's like a lion seeking whom he may be devoured. Yes, he does come around, or his minions or his demons come around and try to give temptation. But don't be blaming all this stuff on the devil. Then was Yeshua led up in the of the spirit in the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungry. Check this out. And when you seeking the things of the spirit, like fasting or feeding the homeless or outreaching, here comes wickedness. I'm telling you, more times than not, when you're seeking the things of the spirit, it could just be, man, you know what, tomorrow at this time I'm going to read. And sure enough, all this stuff happens to where you just can't read. So, of him, and he said, if thou be the Son of the Almighty, command these stones that be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Then the devil will take him up into a holy city, and setteth in the pinnacle of the temple. And he said to them, if thou be the Son of Man, cast down thyself, for it is written, he shall give thy angels charge, in thy hands he shall bear thee up, lest any time thou shalt dash thy foot against the stone. And so it says, hey, he tried to use the scripture. Hey, it's written, but he tries to use the scripture out of context. Let's keep going. And then Yeshua said unto him, it is written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. One, the Almighty doesn't tempt us, and let's not tempt the Almighty. This is an example, and this is a side note of people that play with rattlesnakes, because it says, and if you get bitten, you take up deadly serpent, it shall not bite you. These congregations, mainly Hicktown, Tennessee, some weird farmland state or whatnot, be having churches playing with rattlesnakes, and the pastor will get bit and die. That's because they're tempting the Most High. Yes, I know the Almighty's a protector, but I'm not going to just run across the freeway. Don't tempt the Almighty. Don't be foolish. He gave us wisdom for a reason. Same thing with us praying over our food for health. It is hard in the States. This word goes out to everyone, so not just in the States. It is very difficult to eat healthy in the U.S. There's things we can avoid, like the Twinkies and excess donuts and soda and stuff like that, but just dealing with the GMOs and all that stuff. But us praying for our food, but then we intentionally eat unhealthy, you're borderline tempted the Most High too, because why would you do that? You know this is unhealthy food, but then yet you're going to pray for the Almighty for health. That makes zero sense. But let's keep going. Yeshua said unto him, it is written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy Yah. And the devil again take him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory. Said unto him, all these things I will give you, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Yeshua said unto him, get thee behind me, saying, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy Yah, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, the angels came and ministered unto him. So there's a couple of points we could take out of that. One, temptation does come from the wicked one. And the wicked one, just like there's the Almighty, and he has ministers, and he has brothers and sisters and sons and daughters that he uses to feed the homeless, or he uses to get the gospel out. He chose the foolishness of preaching to save those that are lost. The devil also have his minions on this world. There's wheat and there's tares that they use to tempt you as well. But let's keep going. Also, he used the word to overcome temptation. Every time temptation comes your way, we have the word. Some of you guys, especially on Facebook, you guys don't read enough. How can you hold the word as a defense? And it's the sword of the Spirit. And you say, oh, I got my Bible, that's my sword, but you never read it. That's like having boxing gloves and never put them on to use them, to hit the bag. What does it profit? Man, I got the best boxing gloves, I got this, I got a punching bag, I got the heavy bag, I got the light bag, I got the speed bag, I got all this stuff, but I never use it. Oh, I got the word to defend myself, but I never read. It makes zero sense. You'll be defenseless. So, he used the word to overcome temptation. Give me Matthew chapter 10. Verse 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man against variance, against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a man's foes shall be those in his own household. Why would it say that? Why would it say that? We're going to get some examples on that. You will see divisions, and I'll share my testimony very quickly. I had a good relationship with my mom and my dad and my sisters, and then I came to the truth. And once I told them that I am no longer celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving, I became the lone wolf. Like my mom and my sisters didn't want anything to do with me. Just because, no, I don't want to do Halloween. I'm not going to send you gifts. Please don't send my kids gifts. And they don't want nothing to do with me. Simply because I decided to serve the Almighty. He says it right here. Think not I came to send peace. I am came to bring a separation between righteous and unrighteous. Have you guys ever seen how women that are promiscuous and have a high body count, how they act with the woman that says, oh, I'm a virgin. I kind of want to keep myself for my husband. How do they act around them?
They act like they're like, I don't know. They just act like weird around them.
For no reason, they don't like her, huh? Even though she's done nothing to them. For no reason. She is indirectly keeping the commandments of the Most High. In that area, she's trying to live righteous. Not saying all women that want to be virgins and wait to marriage are keeping the commandments. I know the ones that are keeping the commandments are doing that. But the hoes, they just don't, you think you better. What happens is whenever I am around you, I feel condemnation. And I don't like feeling that. So I'd rather kick it with these people. Because I don't feel ashamed. You being a virgin and me not being a virgin, I feel shame from that. And I don't want to feel shame every time I'm around you. So it's better for me to cut off myself and be around the other hoes. Because I don't feel ashamed. Oh, you go, girl. Oh, this and this and this. So, in like manner, when he says, think not I came to send peace, but a sword. When I decided to live right and do the right thing, then naturally my family shunned me. Prime example. You're going to see this. You're going to be striving. You're going to have your homeboys, right? And some of your homeboys is just about partying, drinking, whatever, just chilling. But you're trying to study. I want to go to college. I want to get this degree. I want to do this. I want to build a house. I want to buy a house. I want to start a business. That requires time and energy. And you can't invest time and energy in a partying and living for the weekend and chasing girls and playing video games all the time. So naturally, by default, there's going to be a separation. And you're going to look back at your same boys 5-10 years from now, and they're going to be doing the same stuff. All this and this. I'm telling you, you will see people doing the same stuff. And you will see people 20 years from now that you went to high school with, that they're going to be homeless, drugged out. Because you decided to chase a career, you decided to start your own business, and they wanted the fast life. And you're like, man, it'll be a popular dude too. I know one dude, he was popular in high school, and sure enough, man, you see him, you're like, what happened? You were the man in high school, everyone liked you, the girls all liked you, everything. And then now, what happened? What happened? So, in like manner, why does it say that when we're getting, think not I came to send peace but a sword? There's going to be a difference. There's going to be a separation in your own house, on the job site, wherever you go, there's going to be separation as a child of light. Let's keep going. Give me Job chapter 1. And I'm going to skip a lot of it. Job chapter 1. I'm going to jump to the middle of it, but you guys, to get the full understanding, is better for, I'll just give you a fast forward, but to get a better understanding, you should read the book yourself. Job chapter 1, I'm going to start at verse 20. So, there was a meeting in the heavens, and all the angels presented himself, and that's why Satan had to present himself before the Almighty as well, being an angel as well. Even though he was a fallen one, he still needed to stand at attention, right? So it says, hey, have you considered Job? There's none like him, one that feareth a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. So the false accuser as he was, Satan says, oh, he serves you because you bless him. And some people, the Satan was right with some people. Some people do come for the fishes and loaves. Some people do. We've seen it in Matthew, but he was inaccurate on Job. Job, he was a false accuser. He was lying, right? So Job lost everything he had. Let's go to verse 20. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down onto the ground and worshipped. And he said, naked I came out of my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Almighty. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Almighty foolishly. So he lost everything. Lost his kids, lost his money, lost every single thing. And then he didn't sin against the Most High. He still blessed the Most High. I was talking to Brother Vince yesterday and say, hey, I thank the Almighty because when I had it, I was a blessing. And even though I go through my famine and go through my struggles and whatnot, I'm still going to serve the Most High. I'm still going to keep pressing. You know, it says there's a time to give, there's a time to receive. There's a time to gain, there's a time to lose. You know, it can't rain always. It rains and you do good and you're living lavish, but there will be a famine that comes in all of our lives. They say like bad things happen in threes. It's usually not just, oh, my car broke down. It's like my car broke down and I lost my job and I'm getting in arguments with my wife or something. It's always like a bad month. It's never just like one thing, oh, I stubbed my toe. No, it's usually a couple of things. You're like, dude, this is a sucky year. But let's keep going. Chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Almighty came to present themselves before the Almighty, and Satan also came among them to present himself before the Almighty. For all these people, sons of God is another term they use for the angels as well. That's why it says you shall be as the sons of God. You shall be as angels and whatnot. So that's why Satan, being a son of the Most High, had to present himself as well. He was a fallen angel, but he was an angel nonetheless. So let's keep going. Just like we are all human beings, but there's sinners and there's saints. And the sinners are not children. They're children of the devil. And even though we're humans, there's the children of the Most High. But they're still humans, right? It's not like sinners are a different type of human. They're still humans. There's the angels that didn't sin, and there's the angels that did. But they're still angels. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So let's keep going. Lord said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? And Satan answered the Lord, said, from going to and from the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Almighty said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him unto the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest against me to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered and said, skin and skin, skin for skin, yet all that I may have will give for a skin. Put forth thy hand and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. He says, yeah, you took everything he had, but he's still in good health. Start dealing with this health and see if he'll curse you. And I've seen people get mad at the Most High. They believed in the Bible, and because the Almighty took their grandma, they said, man, I'm done with the Almighty. If the Almighty was there, why would he kill my grandma? I love my grandma, or I love my mom. And a bad thing would happen, and pretty much they cursed the Most High. They said, I'm done. They turned their back on the Most High because a bad thing happened in life. Let's keep going. And verse 6, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils and soles of his foot and his crown. And he took a potsherd to scrape himself with, though, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die. What a temptation. Your wife tells you that. This is why it says, I'll bring a sword. A man's foes will be those in his own household. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of a foolish woman speaketh. What, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. He still did sin. He said, what, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? You see people like this on Facebook and YouTube. They will put a post out, and there's no problem when people like or emoji or support their posts. But when they get opposing criticism, or they get facts that goes against their viewpoint or their ideology, they'll block them, or they don't want to do nothing. Yeah. Like, you can't put something out there and then, oh, I only want the positive. Oh, I'll just block you. Oh. And don't want any negative criticism. If you're that, not insecure, if you're that sensitive, then just don't post on Facebook or social media. Like, I get people, I teach the word, and people all the time go against me. I just take it on the chin. I know that I'm going to get, a president becomes a president because the majority voted for that person. That's how it's supposed to be, right? Not like how they are, where they're trying to arrest people and they do this and take votes and put false votes in, whatever, right? That's another. But no president pleases everyone. They're going to get people that don't want that president. And when the gospel goes forth or we go forth, we're not going to be pleased everyone. I know I'm not attracted to every female on this planet. In like manner, Job understood this concept. What, shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? I only serve the Almighty when he's blessing me, but when he disciplines me or when he sends tough times, then I don't want to serve him? Is that the extent? Would you only want your wife to be with you in good times and then just divorce you because she wakes up one morning and say, I'm unhappy. I love you, but I'm not in love with you, so I'm going to divorce you. Even though you didn't cheat on me, even though you didn't put your hands on me, you're not verbally abusive, you take care of the kids, you pay the bill, I'm just unhappy, so I'm going to divorce you. So she's only going to be with you predicated on how she feels, and you have to make this woman feel happy for 60 years for her to stay with you. No man is capable of making a woman be happy for 60 plus years. I cannot be the sole source of your happiness. In like manner with Job, I don't serve the Almighty only because of fishes and loaves. I don't serve the Almighty only because he blesses me. Whether he blesses me or whether he chooses to refrain from blessing me, I'm still going to bless the Almighty. I'm still going to give him the praise and the glory. It's not predicated on because he got me this job or he got me this. It's predicated because I love the Most High. And because that I keep his commandments. And if he chooses to keep me poor for the rest of my life, which I pray that he doesn't, then blessed be the name of the Almighty. Blessed be the name of the Almighty. So, let's get Acts chapter 5. And a lot of people tear down Job's wife because this is, why don't you just curse God and die at this point? She tempted him to do something wrong. Temptation came from his own wife. And you will get situations where it could be in your home. You may be serving the Almighty and have an unbelieving wife. Or they don't want to go all the way with the Most High. That may happen. And, oh, well, I was figuring we could do this. Or I figured, no, we don't. We keep the standards of the Most High. They'll try to get you just a little bit. Just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and try to get you to fall away. Don't give in to that temptation. Acts chapter 5, verse 1. Let's get it. But a certain man named Ananias and Sapphira sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and bought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. Now, if you read Acts chapter 4, there was poor brothers and sisters, so they were selling houses and land so they could take care of all the brothers and sisters. That's why it amazes me on why people fight tithes, but in the new covenant, they were giving way more than tithes and offering. They were selling homes and lands to take care of and possessions to take care of brothers and sisters. If you knew brothers and sisters were struggling, would you sell your extra car to have money to take care of your brothers and sisters? That's the kind of love. That's what they were doing in the book of Acts. They were selling possessions and everything to take care of the brothers that lack. And then you guys fight over some simple tithes. Not true, it was united. But you fight over the minor stuff of 10%. And they were doing far more. Would you sell a $450 house that you had? It was a rental property because you already had your house. Either have two coats, give them enough. Sell that $450 to take care of brothers and sisters.
That wouldn't even let him stay with him.
Yeah. So it's like, and they'd be the same people who tithes just for the priest. Okay, I'll deal with that later on. I'll crush that. But anyways, so these two people, mainly the husband, they sold the land. And they kept back part of it and say, oh, here you go. Right? Let's keep going. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thy heart to lie against the Holy Ghost and to keep back part of the price of the land? While it remained, was it not thy own? And after it was so, was it not in thy own power? Hast thou conceived this thing in thy heart? Thou hast not lied unto man, but unto the Almighty. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, and great fear came upon all them that heard these things. And the young man rose up. Arose and wound him up and carried him and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours. And when his wife not known that was done, Peter answered and said, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yeah, for so much. And Peter said, how is it that you have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Almighty? Behold, the feet of which buried thy husband are at the door, and they shall carry thee out. And then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. The young man came and found her dead, and carried her forth and buried her with her husband. And great fear came upon all the church and upon as many as heard these words. So they lied. They lied. And they could have just told the truth and said, I brought some back for myself, but here. They could have, but they try to pose like, hey, here's all the money. And the wife was just privy to it. So now you let your husband get you out of the way. You let him, you participated. He tempted you, hey, I'm going to do this. You had, no, that's not right. I'm not part of that. You gave in to that temptation. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Or however the conversation went, you let your husband get you off your steadfastness. And now husband cost you your salvation because you died in your sins. It says she was just privy to it. She didn't do it, but she knew about it and didn't say nothing. So you gave in to that temptation. Because in some situations, silence is consent, right? Not in all situations, but some situations, that's consent. When if two cops, right? There's two cops. One cop is putting the cuffs on you too tight and slamming you against the table, slamming you against the cop car, and then slams you in there and shuts the door, and the other cop just sits there and doesn't say anything. Which one's the bad cop? Both of them, right? Because you just let this dude do it. They're both bad. It's not, well, I didn't do it, but you knew about it. You didn't report him. You didn't go to your officers. You didn't want to get blackballed or kicked out of the force, right? So it's like they're both wrong. So she was wrong. She gave into that temptation, and guess what happened? Job was like, what? You speaketh as a foolish woman speaketh. Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? You don't understand? Is your whole relationship predicated on how he blesses you? That's like a wife. Would you want a wife only predicated on what you buy her? If you stop buying her because money's tight or whatnot, she'll leave you? How would that be? Or you're only going to be a husband to her if she gives you sex, but once she stops giving you sex, you'll leave her? No, it can't be that. I mean, if she does that, that would be bad. But let's say by chance there's an operation or she got hit or something happens to where she cannot give you intimacy through a strange disease.
What about through benevolence?
Yeah, I'm saying that like something she just isn't capable. Maybe she's paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Don't even go there. You know what I'm saying? But let's just say I will still be with my wife. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not predicated on her looks, if she got her hair bald because she fought cancer or this or leukemia or whatever, right? I'll push her in the wheelchair. I'll still be there by her side. That's what it is. But let's keep going. I already know I should use a bad example. But anyways, let's go. Let's go. Bad hypothetical. Let's keep going. Let's get the shout outs real quick. For the women, some examples, since we're doing with Acts, some examples that a man, if you're a wife, using, well, I get the shout out. Did she forget? Yeah, she forgot the shout outs. Some of the examples, like when you have a husband that's trying to tempt you to do wrong, maybe he somewhat believes, they typically would use the scripture out of context. And they'll say, oh, well, it says submit unto your husband as unto the Lord, or submit unto your husband as unto all things. And they try to get you to do things that's outside the scriptures. Yeah. Hey, you stand strong, because look what happened to her. Sapphira could have been saved by just telling the truth. But she said, yeah, we sold it for so much, and she ruined her salvation. A husband cannot override the Almighty's laws. You submit unto him on his request that is within the parameters of the law. If he tries to get you, oh, let's go murder this person or steal this money or lie to this person, they do not override the Almighty's laws. That's not possible. So keep that in mind. Same thing if you have a wife. Oh, well, let's we're tired. Let's not go to Sabbath service today. Trying to get you off your steadfastness. It says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves together. Speaking of assembly, there's some people, you know who you are, that keeps missing Zooms. Can't keep missing these Zooms. You know who you are. It says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves together. And so much. And let's go to that. Hebrews chapter 11 real quick, since we're there.
Goodness protection is strong.
Actually, it's I believe it's I'm gonna get it now. Now I gotta find it. It's in Hebrews though. While you guys actually, I'll have Vince get it. I'll get Numbers 20, and I'm gonna just read Hebrews real quick. Numbers 20, since we don't have the shout outs. Hebrews 10. I was close. So while you guys get Numbers 20, I'm going to read Hebrews 10 real quick. And then running. This is Hebrews 10:25. Hebrews 10:25. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together. So we're not supposed to forsake it as the manner of some is. So some people be missing church and whatnot and not assemble, especially people that don't have congregation, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another. So we're supposed to be warning another, like, hey, you need to be at service, you need to assemble. And so much the more as you see the day approaching. For if we sin willfully after that we receive the knowledge of truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice of sin. We can't be forsaking the assembly. Let's keep going. Numbers chapter 20. Numbers chapter 20.
She said I'm from her other phone.
Oh, it's on the other phone? Oh, she sent it to that phone? If she sent it to the church phone, I can't read it if we're doing live, but let's keep going. Numbers 20, verse 1. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month. And the people at Kadesh and Miriam died there, and there was buried there, and there was no water. And the congregation, they gathered themselves against Moses and Aaron again. And the people chode what Moses and spake unto them, would to God that we have died with our brethren, died before the Lord. Why have you brought the congregation into the wilderness, and that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have you made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us into this evil place? There is no place for seeds or figs or vines or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly into the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Almighty appeared unto them. The Almighty spake unto Moses, take the rod and gather, assemble yourselves together, thou and Aaron and thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before thy eyes, and it shall give forth water, and thou shalt bring forth them water out of the rock, or so shalt thou give the congregation and their beasts. So he's supposed to speak to the rock. The first time he did tell him to hit the rock. This time he said speak to the rock. And Moses took the rod before the Lord as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said to them, hear now, you rebels, must we fetch water out of this rock? And Moses lifted up his hand, and with the rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and the beasts also. So he got upset, and he said, must I get water for you rebels? And he hit the rock, right? And the Almighty spake unto Moses and Aaron, because you believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you should not bring this congregation into the land which I have given you. So because Moses messed up that one time, now he can't come into the promised land. And this is why we can't give into temptation. Now let's build on this. Give me James chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man works not in the righteousness of the Almighty. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Or the parable was saying the Almighty gave you 2 ears and 2 eyes, but only 1 mouth. So you should talk half as much as you listen and you observe. But so his wrath works not in the righteousness of the Almighty. Give me Luke chapter 12. Verse 46. Verse 46. The Lord of that servant which came in the day which he looketh not for him. Oh, wait. and at the hour when he was not aware, will cut him asunder and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. So that's 46, 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So you knew what to do, and you chose not to do it. He says that on the day of judgment, if I knew what to do, I'm going to get beaten with many stripes. Verse 48. But he that knew not and did things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. So the sinners, when they go to hell, they'll be beaten with few. That means Hitler, child molesters, all these people will be beaten with few. If I didn't make it, I'm going to be beaten with many. My judgment, if I went to the lake of fire, my judgment will be far worse than any sinner. This is why. For unto whom much is given, unto him be much required. And to whom much have committed much, unto him they will ask the more. I require you more. I always use that thing in the ball. All right, I'll use it for you. You got 2 kids. You say, don't be playing ball in the house. You're going to break the TV. One is 3 and one is 10. They get caught playing ball in the house. Something gets broke. Who's more in trouble?
10-year-old.
Why is that?
Because he's older.
And he what? Knows better, right?
Better.
You expect more from him, right?
Yes.
So if we come to the Almighty, get baptized, and we don't make it, beaten with many stripes. Beaten with many stripes. Back to Moses. Moses messed up. How many times did Moses mess up to where he couldn't get in? One time. Give me Numbers chapter 14. How many times did Israel mess up before they couldn't get in? Numbers 14. We're going to start at verse 21. Numbers 14, verse 21. But as truly as I live, and all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles which I did in Egypt in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened unto my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that have provoked me to see it. So they didn't have Israel, even though they were the children of the Most High. They didn't get visions and dreams. The Almighty spoke to Moses audible. They didn't hear his voice like you're hearing my voice right now. Moses did. Moses went up into the mount. Moses got the 10 commandments. Moses got to see the hinder part of his glory. Moses had a stronger connection with them. So these people messed up 10 times, and he says, now you're not going to get in. Moses messed up what? One time it says, you're not getting in. To whom much is given, much is required. And this is why we can't give in to people's temptations. Because if your boys ain't doing nothing but drinking and smoking and ditching and not having bad grades, not caring about high school, not nothing, and you're on the right track, and they get you to deviate, and now you don't get that job, or you don't get that degree, or you don't go to college, who lost more? They wasn't about nothing anyways. You had a bright future. You were going somewhere in life, and you let them get you off your steadfastness. Your future was bright, and guess what happened? You lost more. They didn't have anything. You had something going for you. In like manner, we have salvation. Sapphira's had salvation, and she gave in to her husband, and guess what? She lost her salvation because of that. So let's keep going. Give me 2 Peter, last scripture, chapter 2. Which time we got? I might could bring some news up. I could bring one news up.
Peter?
Yeah, 2 Peter, chapter 3. I said chapter 2, but chapter 3. Verse 17. Ye, therefore, beloved, seeing that you know these things before you, beware, lest ye also, being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. Don't lose out on salvation. See, if we give into outside external Whether it's family, friends, jobs. Jobs will pressure you. Oh, we really need you to work. Can you just work this Sabbath? Or can you just do this? Or can you? Jobs will try to get you. We won't be able to. They will try to get you. And will you give into that temptation and break the Sabbath? Some of you people, hearing my voice, are missing out in blessings simply because you give into temptation. So the Almighty says, it's not that my hand is too short that it cannot reach, or my ear is too heavy that it cannot hear. It says, but your iniquity has separated me from you. So you're not receiving blessings simply because you're given into temptation, whether it's mild or severe, whether it's just, oh, I don't feel like going to assembling with the brothers this Sabbath or whatever, right? You are given into temptation, and because of that, your blessings. Some of you guys will mess up your reputation. Because if you, let's say, a lot of it is anger for us as men. It says, be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Moses, that was an impulse. He did sin, but that's what I was saying. Some things are at an impulse. Must I fetch water for you, rebels? And he was just led by anger. It's not like adultery, like I was saying, where you just get a girl's number and you're secretly hiding it from your wife, and then you secretly meet up and you commit adultery with a co-worker. No, that's premeditated and whatnot. He got mad or something happens and you'll get off your steadfast. It'll be a co-worker that says something and you flare off on him, and then now your reputation. An example for me is when I was first coming to the Almighty, and this reputation followed me. There's a dude that was talking trash. He already got laid off for being lazy or nothing, but he came back, and since I was new, he's talking trash. Then I was like, what's up? Get off the scaffolding and let's throw down. And he didn't want to do it, and so I came back, and I was first son of the Almighty. I apologized to him. I was like, hey, my bad and whatnot, but whatever. So what did he do? Instead of him doing the right thing, he came back like 3 days later. Oh, Simon tried to step up and I punked him. But people knew it was like, you didn't punk Simon. You didn't punk Simon. He tried to act because I came back and probably like he punked me, like I got scared, right? But people didn't believe the story. And I was like, whatever. A while later, like 6 months later, he was talking. I was like, say it one more time and I'm going to smack you. And this is when I was first coming to the Almighty. So he said something again and I socked him on the job site. He tried to swing and then I hit him and it dropped him. He wasn't knocked out. And then the guys pulled me off. He's like, dude, you got to go home. And then he wanted to call the cops, but my guys and boys like, bro, you were starting it. Don't call the cops. Don't punk out. And they pressured him to not call the cops because it's like, you started it with this dude. And then now you got mad because it went. So I got laid off. Obviously, I got fired from the job. I was like, Almighty, I failed. I was like, but if a situation happens again, I'm going to pass. So I ended up getting a job again in the union and whatnot. That was when I was doing T-Bar. Sure enough, this racist dude, and I really wanted to drop this dude. Because I was just coming from game banging, so it's just like we didn't care about jobs. This what's up. We'll throw down on the job site. It's nothing, right? So then I passed that test. Like 8 years later, people see me that still do T-bar. Oh, you're that dude that fought that dude. And that reputation is like, I'm trying to give a reputation of the Almighty. I gave into that temptation. He was talking trash and getting into me, and I gave into that temptation, and now I ruined my reputation because it only takes a little bit. You could be faithful for 20 years. There's a saying there's another saying I want to say, but it will mess up your reputation. I'll say this: you could build 1,000 bridges for 1,000 years. But once you go down on one man, you're not a bridge maker. You're a cocksucker. And that's just your reputation. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that's a little vulgar, but I'm using that to show you that when you serve the Almighty and you mess up and give into temptation, then that can mess up your reputation for years on end. So now for years, even though I've been serving the Almighty, people look at me, oh, you're that dude that fought that dude on the job site. I'm like, yeah, man, that was like 8-10 years ago. But that's all they remember. They don't remember me serving the Almighty. They don't remember me keeping the Sabbath. They don't remember anything, right? They don't remember none of that. They just remember I fought that guy. Another thing, when David messed up in adultery, it says you gave a reason for people to blaspheme. And so when we give into temptation, now people blaspheme the Most High because of you. And how does that happen? Because of like, see, I knew church was full of hypocrites. Haven't you heard that before? Yeah. People don't want anything to do with the Almighty simply because there was people that they were just sinners anyways, or they happened to give in to temptation, they fell into sin, and now the Almighty has to take the bad reputation from it. No, man, I don't know, man. Any of you just Bible thumpers, you guys are full of hypocrites. You guys be sleeping with one another, doing this. They don't want anything to do with the Most High. And the Almighty dealt with David for that, and they dealt with Eli. When you cause his name to not get glory, because it says, whatever we do in word or deed, do in the name of Yeshua, and it says that they should glorify the Father. When we're the light of the world, they glorify the Father. But when you're taking glory for him, he deals with us extremely. So let's not give in to temptation, because not only your reputation, but the Almighty's reputation is on the line. And then the last one, let's not give in to temptation from external forces, is because your own salvation could be on the line, like Ananias and Sapphira. There we go. Ananias and Sapphira. You'll mess around, and these sinners are like zombies. They want to bite you and get you off. The women that aren't virgins, that are hoes, they trying to, you this and this and this. They're trying to get the girl to not be a virgin. They're trying to get her to be defiled. The boys, you don't pull no girls. They be trying to make fun of dudes that are virgins. The other boys, they trying to, because you condemn them. They have no self-control and no discipline. They have no restraint with their body. They give into temptation. It's no different than someone that is obese. They don't have no control to withhold the calories. I have to eat this ice cream. You see them when they're 400 pounds and they say, hey, for you to get a gastric bypass, or for we got to put you under this and this, but you got to lose 100 pounds. Once you lose 100 pounds, you've seen the videos, and they will not lose. They will just keep eating. All they got to do is use 100 pounds. They'll do the operation because they can't give you anesthetic weighing that much, because they can't dose it right, and they could kill you. So you have to get a certain weight so they could dose you with the anesthesia. And they don't have no self-control. It was like me when I first started cussing. It took like 2 months. I'm like, I thought I was in control of my body, but every time I was slipping up and this and this, and then I had to replace the what beavers make for darn, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever, right? Freak, or whatever. You know, I had to start replacing it, slowly get it out your system, but it shows you how much control you have. And that's the same thing with these men and these women. You don't have sexual discipline. And because of that, you get mad at the people that do.
Right.
Because, I have a standard. No, I don't drink alcohol. And then these full of people that drink alcohol, they get mad at the people that don't. Oh, I don't gamble. They get mad at the people that don't gamble. Oh, no, I keep the Sabbath day. Oh, I don't do this. Oh, I don't cuss. And because of that, they want to get you like them. They want to bite you and make you a zombie. It says, let the dead bury the dead. They are walking dead. Until they repent, they are walking dead. They're like zombies. And they want to defile you. They want to get you off your steadfastness. Don't give in to their temptation. Because all it took was one time for me to fight this dude. One time. And that reputation followed me. It wasn't like, that's that dude serving the Most High. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was there when you socked that dude up. I'm not even in that trade no more. I don't even do T-bar or acoustical ceiling. I do sheet metal, a whole different trade, but all trades meet at different job sites. We all see the same people eventually, right? Guess what? Reputation followed me to this day. It's like, don't give in to that. You men out there, I know it's going to be angry. There's plenty of times where I wanted to call people out and cross hands with these people. But then it says, be not a brawler. And that's what they're going to remember me for. They're not going to remember me for keeping the Sabbath, or not cussing, or not drinking, or not committing adultery, serving the Almighty, being the light of the world, feeding the homeless. They're not going to remember any of that. They're going to remember the sin. That's all they're going to remember. So, with all that said being done, go ahead.
We got shout-outs.
Oh, the shout-outs? Cool. Gia, Christian, Katura, Karen, Moonman, Occupation, Born Champ, Vincent, Damari, Kamari, Jocelyn, Ario, Nava, Zahara, JL, Vincent, Izzy, Ciante, and Joshua. Love you guys. I want you guys to make it in the kingdom. With all that said being done, keep standing, don't drop standing. Give the Almighty hand clap. Shalom. I was gonna